Okay, mods, this is it. I'm not going to be here or talking to anybody. Please keep the crowds under control.
She's still 50, she pushes weights, she's all Vicky. Got a laugh to hear from one end of the pump to the other. And she was so excited because they did up by that nursery on the heights. No, right up there, because you're leaving town.
Oh, I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
all the
Yeah.
there were 6 houses. Joe actually has a couple of drinks from your past. One night we had a beer at Margarita, just literally was next door, walked out our front door and made a right turn and we were in it. And it was good, that was really good food. Usually good place. And then the next day we went to a steakhouse. The game we had, we were staying in our hotel room. I was mine was really fresh. Joe was out on the deck having his, which he had. Yeah.
Good.
We had planned on taking lunch out. And we shifted over here. He was quite pleased to know that the 3 of us, the 4 of us, so that dog park had some representation. That's what we done.
That one maybe little shadow, she told me that since she was coming back.
She's still got 6 or 7 months. James the same way.
Good morning. Welcome to all of you. Thank you for coming to show your respect and appreciation for Roberta and her life and the stories that she had of herself and you and the dogs and other critters that she connected with. My name is Owen Brown, and I'm known in Prince George as a community chaplain. So in the new terms that come out from time to time, the new terms are spiritual health care practitioner or provider for others. And I'm glad that you're here for the celebration of life of Roberta Jane Castle. We all have memories of Roberta that make us smile. She lived life at a 10 out of 10. Horses, dogs, walking dogs, nature, all of those things were important to her. I had a 2-hour conversation with Chris on Tuesday, and we went over some of the wonderful details of the memories that he has. And I was impressed by getting to know her a little bit through the stories that he told me. So we're going to have a song, a reading of the obituary, a poem, a short poem, memories of her by Sierra, a very close friend, another song, reflections by Chris, and then there may be some opportunity for some memories that you have, so you will have to come up to the mic so that everyone can hear well. And Chris tells me that the recording tool is focused right here, so in order to get you on that, you need to be up here. And then I'll have some closing comments, and then there will be some farewell viewing of the casket, and we'll come to a close. So, to start things off is a song called All Star by the band's Smash Mouth. So you can remember Roberta and the happy times that you had with her. And this one's, I read it, yes, too, as well as listened to it last night. And I was impressed by the choice of song. I liked it. So.
It's
he's gonna read the obituary and give us some sidebars on some of the other activities that she was involved with.
It's always interesting, you see there. Berta, you might have known her as Berta. She was Berta in high school and shortened it to Berta. But her first nickname was Birdie from my parents. Yeah, she was Birdie about the same time when she got that teddy bear she was hanging out. So I grew up with her as Birdie. She's predeceased by my parents, Robert and Violet, as well as her nephew Liam, my son. But she's lovingly remembered by her partner Chris. It's the wonderful son Jeremy Lively and his wife Sarah, and her other son Tyson. And her cherished grandsons Jack and Miles, myself and my lovely wife Lou, and her niece Regan, my daughter. She was born in Vancouver, and she was raised there on the west side until the early 70s. We moved to West Richmond and went to school there. We were both enrolled in private schools in Vancouver, and both our parents were high school teachers in the public school system. I always thought it was quite an indictment on the public school system that they were enrolled their kids in public schools, but it was really was to give us the best opportunity that they could. And I'm thankful for that. It didn't last long. I think both of us were there to the 7th grade or something. And then we were let loose in the Richmond scene. She was always happy, curious, loved to laugh. She made friends easily. Was a very popular girl at school. Always lived in her shadow with all her friends. And I looked up to her for that. And growing up, she loved our ski trips. Her dad being a teacher, we would have spring break off, and it was Banff, Jasper, Whistler, Crystal Mountain down in Washington State. And we loved our ski trips at spring break. Camping trips in the summer were fun, and the old tent trailer. And that's where she started her love of horses. She's always wanted us to go on trail rides. So we always went on a trail ride, and I remember we had one that was late afternoon, and the horse I was on had enough and said, I'm heading back to the barn. And it took off, and I had no control over that horse. I was just hanging on for dear life. And then I heard a horse behind me, and she's kicking her horse as hard as she can, which we hated this, the slow drop. She was kicking that horse hard, trying to catch up to me and loving a big smile on her face. So, yeah, she loved horses. That was her first animal that she loved. I don't think she really got her first dog until she was in her 30s. Diesel was a King Corso that she loved, and was a big old gal. So yeah, I think that was, she found the love of dogs at a time when she really needed it. And she exploited that and expanded on that, and was good at it. She was very good at it. And I explained in here how she played a small role in the first women's rugby team in Richmond with the rugby club. I spent years with that club, and She recruited people, some of my friends actually, to play on that women's team. I think she maybe played one game or two games, but it wasn't a sport for her. But she came out and watched a lot of games. In high school, she really became a free spirit. She grew into a beautiful woman and became quite independent. And I think she was out of the house by the time she was 18, living on her own. She was working at, I believe it was Lighting Unlimited, selling in the mall, selling retail lighting, and later she got into commercial and wholesale lighting and selling to contractors and whatnot. She was great at it. And then after that, she was selling cosmetics at the Bay. And again, she did very well at that. I always enjoyed that because she saved my butt a number of times when I forgot birthdays and anniversaries and stuff. I would pop by them all and she would have something waiting for me. Jeremy was born in her early 20s and was the apple of her eye. She became the best mom. Not just to Jeremy, but to the neighborhood. I remember we went over there for dinners, birthday dinners, and whatever dinners it was. And when we got there, the doors open, kids are flying in and out all over the place. Hockey sticks were out, or whatever was happening. There was always kids there. And she just loved it. She loved having the open door for all the kids. And she was a great neighborhood mom. I wasn't around, I wasn't involved in Bert's life when she started with the dog daycare. Life takes its turns, and I wasn't around for that. But I saw her comfort in it. I realized that she had found her true calling. And she always brought people together. As much as the dogs were the catalyst, it was all about the people. And she found people that she loved, or like-minded, and she found a peace in that, a peace in a very troubled life. And within that, she found Chris. Or Chris found her. They found each other. I think maybe they both needed what each had to give. And we finally saw light. And I'm forever grateful for that. I too love dogs and love the community. I found it an easy way to meet people, to talk to people. And people with compassion. And Bert had immense compassion for people, for dogs, for animals. She always saw the good. She trusted, even when she shouldn't. And that's what I remember. A person that opened her heart, whether she knew you deserved it or not. She opened her hand. She was a strong woman with a far too big heart. And I can really just, I love my sister, and I always remember her brightness. Thank you.
Thank you, Lou. That rounded out some more of who she was to us as well as knew her. And as a person that I'm getting to these stories. So the poem that's been selected is Do Not Stand by Mary Elizabeth Fry. And it's had a couple of word craftings to fit who Roberta was. So here it is. Do not stand at the kitchen and weep. I am not there. I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond glints on snow. I am the sunlight on ripening grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you awaken in the morning's hush, I am the swift, uplifting rush of quiet birds in circled flight. I am the soft stars that shine at night. Do not stand in the crystal cold night and cry, I am not there. I did not die. We'll have the memories of Sienna by Sierra. Sorry, the memories of Bert by Sierra, a close friend of hers at this time.
The nickname for me was Sienna, so that was perfect, actually.
And I thought I made an egregious mistake.
Bert, if you were listening, you would have told me stories far better than me. Bear with me, I will do my best. I was 20 when I met Bert working in cosmetics at Bay in Richmond. She would never tell anybody her age. I just actually found out right now how old she was. I would tell people she was 70, and she would tell people I was gay, in many different languages. Bert loved to tell people when I introduced myself to her, I was wearing a crop top, chewing gum, while leaning over her cosmetic counter. We were supposed to be in uniform at all times. Bert thought I was pretty cool and started tying her uniform jacket around her waist while wearing very super cute fitted shirts. We became friends immediately. We had so much fun. Everyone always did when Bertie was around. We would often go for lunch in the cafeteria where a couple of lovely Filipino ladies served us. Their English wasn't great, which of course was an opportunity for Bert. She would ask for 1 pea and 1 carrot, please, on separate plates. It took them a while to realize she was joking, but once they did, she would have them in stitches. They taught us all the good swear words in Tagalog. We once got hauled up to the store manager's office for swearing in Cantonese. We were alone in his office for a few minutes, and it's a good darn thing there wasn't a camera in there. We would have been in a lot more trouble. Bert was always good at talking her way out of trouble. She was a gifted conversationalist and an excellent salesperson. But she was also rebellious, and so was I. She taught me about 7.5s. It takes exactly 7.5 minutes to smoke a cigarette. We used to sneak out the loading zone. We were required to carry a clear purse out. Oh, Sandy. Sorry. We were required to carry a clear purse at work or it would be stored in the locker. Bert opted for a clear bag. She would stuff it full of tampons and maxi pads and I think condom too, all to embarrass security. We thought it was pretty funny. Security did not. One particularly humorless security guard would target us for not locking our showcases. Bert and I started reading him. We were always laughing and hoping for a reaction. He ended up getting a position at border control, and we were always worried that we might end up in his lineup. He would have thrown a book at us. One day, the Bay executives did a surprise store tour. There was Bert, not in her uniform, smelling like smoke, with a huge sack of potatoes behind her counter. Without missing a beat, she doused herself in perfume and invited them over for dinner because she was making mashed potatoes. Bert taught me how to market our products by making flyers and delivering them around the mall and in the store. When the Canucks games were on, we outbound market in the TV department. We had pretty comfy couches. Over the years, our careers took us in different directions, but we always stayed in touch. We took trips together and staycations, and I'm grateful for all of those memories. We had a blast. Last year, I flew. Last year, I flew to Prince George for a visit. We sat on her bed. And talked for. It's so weak. We sat on her bed and talked for 10 hours without a break in conversation. She's the only person I could ever do that with. She was an extraordinary friend. She told me on several occasions she loved me unconditionally, and she really did. I love her. Life won't be the same without me. Thank you.
Chris, please come and give your reflections of the last 10 years plus.
Bert, I hope you're here with us. You and my everything. Everything I did was for you. When we met back in Tawasin, we were like a couple of teenagers in love. I never thought I'd feel that way again. But she was amazing. We walked the dogs. I had to apologize a few times at first for kind of taking over. But everything I did was for her. And then when we came up here, rebuilding everything, it was all for her. And this is it. This is the final goodbye. It's really hard for me to still get my head wrapped around that she's even gone. I just want to thank everybody for coming out here, reminding me of my friends we have. And how much the community we share. I'd like to go on and on about what kind of crazy lady she was. But you know, it's just about the same. I love you forever. I'm really gonna miss you. Forever.
So there's an opportunity now for any of you that we want to tell stories and memories of Roberta. And you do have to come up here because otherwise it's not going to be on the video, it's going to be kept. So if you want to do that, please come up now and I'll spend some time, leave some time for that. And if there's nobody that comes, then I have a couple more announcements. So come on up.
Hi, everyone. My name is Melissa. I know Bert and Chris for my dog. My dog Jay, who Bert was very close with. I called him Pitty Pup. You know, they started taking my dog in at 2 months old, so I've known them for like 2.5 years now. And I was really close with Bert and Chris, with both of you. I have good memories of Bert staying with me for a bit, and it was wonderful. You know, she reminded me a lot of my mother, who passed away last year, and both Chris and Bert have been very supportive of me since then. But yeah, having her around, it was just like having my mom, and it was, and she'd be giving me heck for things that I was doing, and but always so caring and just a genuinely good person in the sense of her compassion, right, and her empathy, and And I was really appreciative of that. When Chris shared with me that she passed away, he was helping me hang a door in my house. And I was just like, what? Because, yeah, what a shock that was. And, yeah, I still feel like she'll just come in the door with me one day and then drop the dog off and be like, hey, Melissa. You know, with her support. She's always genuinely got that motherly care about her. Yeah, she's a wonderful lady, and I miss her very much.
I am also a dog lady. I met Chris and Bert about just over a year ago when I moved to Prince George with my company. We had to do the meet and greet, and it was about 6 o'clock at night. And Bert entered the door with a broken arm. And I just looked at her and I said, are you going to be able to look after my dog? She said, oh, just wait until Chris gets here. Sure enough, that had instilled some confidence when he showed up. Bert she was one of a kind. On Annie's 3rd birthday, I invited them for his doggy birthday party. And Bert was telling all of the big fish stories. Everything was a little bit bigger, a little bit more exciting, a little bit more glimmer, and Chris was just like, no, that didn't happen, that's not going to But she had a way of making things more fun, more wonderful. Sometimes Chris and Bert would get into a bit of a twist, and one of them would end up on my doorstep. And when it was Bert, she tried to be so helpful. She tried to clean everything, organize everything, and I was just beside myself because I couldn't find anything. But she loved the dogs, and she will be missed, and I see it on Chris's face when I look at him, and I'm seeing the tears that he has shed. You know, one time I was so upset with Chris, and we had gone for a drive, and because she was upset with him too, and I just kind of vented to her, and she said, "That's enough of that. I love Chris." I know that they loved each other deeply, and I know that she will remain with you, Chris, but I also know that you will be with her until you meet again.
Thank you for adding to our memories by speaking and giving stories of Bert. This brings us to the close of our time here, of the celebration of her life with us. And I have a 5-line, I think you could call it a prayer for us and for her. So if you'll, some of you may bow your heads and close your eyes, some of you may be comfortable with your eyes open, but I will read this, and then you may come forward after that and view her the last time, her physical body that's still here, and then you can go out into the entranceway, and that'll be the close of things. Creator of life, as we grieve and mourn through time at parting with Roberta, may our memories of her hold steady. May we be encouraged to live life at a 10 out of 10 like she did. May you, Creator, guide us forward, that we will be renewed and restored with her in the life to come. Amen. Okay. Let's have the side over here come forward if they wish to view. If you don't, you can go out the back. And then we'll have viewing starting at the rear of that one coming forward so that Chris gets the honor of being the last one.